How do I turn this thing or hide this menu? Oh, shift. Oh, Alt B. There we go. I'm making a flow field for my AI. Just basically you divide the world into a grid, and then each grid has a directional information, and so that you can have lots of AI use the same pathfinding data instead of every single UI doing separate calculations. They just take the data from the flow field class and they use that to navigate. So it becomes more performant and you can support more units that way and not have your performance tank. Yesterday I tried this out and it didn't work. It gave me an error, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it says flow field index was outside the bounds of the array. So I'm trying to access pretty much, basically I'm trying to access something that doesn't exist. And I'm not sure where I'm doing that though. It's 125, it's here, but I don't know why it's happening. That's the problem. Like what if I just do this and access? If I do something like this and then go back and try if it works now. Okay, it's still giving me the error, so that's the problem. What if I just access this then? Let me try this again, see if that also causes a problem or not. So the same thing. Oh. What was that? Index out of range exception CS 125. Int 32. On ready. Int 32, 125. Okay. They both cause problem. That means something's wrong with distances. It doesn't get initialized. What's wrong here? This should not be a problem. What if I don't check for this? Maybe I know the syntax wrong. I don't know why this isn't working. Should work. And distances. Or maybe this function receives or outputs wrong indices. Okay. Same thing. 125. What if I just do this? Still a problem. This. Okay, so I'm guessing it's index and neighbor indices is what's causing the problem. Can I do something like this? New in. Is that a thing? Okay. Let's try this. Still next out of bounds. C# initializer. Yeah, I'm doing it right. That's how it's initialized. So this isn't the problem. Dimension X, dimension Y. 14 times 20. Neighbor. How about get neighbor indices, and instead of this, well, let's first try after commenting out that didn't like it. It crashed. Where's the program? Try that again. Build and then run. Not gonna work. Okay, it's probably like an infinite loop. Something's going on. Okay. Okay, so I'm guessing the while loop never ends. While count is greater than 0. Okay, so remove current index. And indices. And then we're adding goal index to it. And we're setting current index to the first index in open indices. Then we do our thing and then we remove it. We add all the neighbor indices. Do we need to check if they're already on the list or not? Probably. We probably do. Or let's copy this. For each neighbor index and neighbor index. If open indices contain neighbor index. If it continue, else we can add the neighbor. So now it's going to add the neighbor index if it doesn't already exist. Okay, I guess that makes sense with integers. You know that's how it worked. How lists worked, but okay. Gonna crash. It's gonna crash. Yep. That didn't solve the problem. Close this. Okay. Maybe I'm doing this syntax wrong. No. Still not working. The problem. Let's print neighbor indices dot length. I don't know if it's going to work, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to print anything because it's going to crash, but let's try. Flow layers is never. Okay. It's not outputting anything either. Yeah, that obviously works. That works, and then it gets 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, and then 0, 0. What? Getting 0 neighbors. Yeah, hold on. Which one was it even printing? Printing distances? It wouldn't make sense if it's printing distances if I don't change the distance. It's going to be all zeros. Oh, it's not going to work now. Comment this out again. Run. Printed out 3 and it stopped. So what happened here? We added the goal index. Is 0. Added the goal index. Current index is 0. So the neighbor indices would be I don't know. I don't know. But I know this is going to be 3 neighbors. That makes sense. Let's print out each neighbor then. See if there's something wrong with that. Neighbor index. Okay, here we go. Negative 15, negative 14, 1. Why are they negatives? What is this? Okay. I see what's wrong. Neighbor index. Negative 15, negative 14. Why is it like that? I got it backwards somehow. Where am I? There we go. Don't laugh at my code, but that was the easiest way I could get neighbors. Hold on. Top bound valid. Wait, are these backwards? Let me try this. 1, 14, 15. Okay, here we go. That was a stupid mistake. I could have made this a lot better. I could have just inverted this, make it like negative smaller than dimension x, larger than this, equals 0, equals this, I guess. I don't know. But it works now, so. And I decided to not think about the performance for now. I don't want to do premature optimization. I got Rust. I implemented Rust with GD extension from the start because later on I don't want to change like the project files and change the core of the engine. So I just I added Rust from the start. So later on, if I need more performance, I can write the same thing in Rust, and then I can call that function to handle all my high performance stuff. But yeah, okay, now we have that working. Let's delete this print statement. Uncomment this. Uncomment this. And then lastly, we can print out the distances to see if it worked. It's not gonna work. If it doesn't contain neighbor index, add neighbor index. Is there something called try add? Probably try get or something. No? No, that's just for dictionaries then. There's a list. So I don't know why I'm doing a second loop here. There's the exact same thing here. And lastly, we remove the current index. Don't understand. Turns number of elements in a sequence. So it could be 0. I wonder if it's going to print something inside the while loop, or if it's just going to crash and not work. It's going to crash. So is this the reason it doesn't end? Like the loop keeps going on? Okay, it's printing out 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 0, 1. What? We're printing out distances. Okay. Printing out counts. Let's not print out this. Close. Restart. Printed out 1 and then it stopped. That's because we're not adding anything, which makes sense. Distances neighbor index equals distances current index plus 1. If open indices contains neighbor index, or if it doesn't contain it, then add that index. So why is it going on forever? Gets added to open indices. The current index gets removed. Maybe if I don't remove them. I can't think right now. My brain is slowing down the more I think about this. No. I'm going to try to rewrite this. So we have a distances array that holds all the data. We have an open list. Yeah, the while part should be the same. So open indices dot count greater than 0. So while, or when we don't have anything to iterate on in the open list, then we move on and return from the function. Okay. And then we already added our first index, which is the goal. Okay. Int index equals open indices dot maybe how I'm getting it is wrong. First find exists. Is there a first? Why is it a generic? What is this? Emitting type on not what? First returns the first element of a sequence. Oh, I see. It's not a generic function. Okay, first element. And I guess that's it. Okay. I hope that's better than what I was first doing. For each. Now we're supposed to get the neighbors. Current index. That would be int neighbor indices equals index to neighbor indices. And then we do current index. And for each int neighbor index in neighbor indices, do they all need to start from the max value? Probably not, because the cost field starts from the max value, and then we kind of like process it, and then it's not all max values. Some of them are ones, some of them are zeros, so I guess it doesn't make sense to have them all max values. Mm. See, some people use queues instead of a list. I don't know, does it really matter if I use a queue? So then I'm guessing I can like pop in. Push. What is complaining? Oh. New queue int. There you go. And then I can indices dot what's it called? It's not called pop, it's Q NQ maybe? Yeah. Goal index. Okay. Does this retrieve the value? Turns object at the beginning of queue. Okay. DQ, and I no longer need to remove that. That looks a lot cleaner. Get neighbor cells. Here. If I feel like I'm missing something. Okay, for each neighbor, if open indices contains, okay, nice, that still exists, contains neighbor index. If it doesn't contain it, then we do distances, neighbor index equals distances current index plus 1. And then we do open indices dot add enqueue neighbor index. And then where is it? Then we dequeue the current index. Let me try this. See what it does. Not gonna work. Is it because I'm not initializing like the values? Is it not default 0? Close this. Comment this out. So these two are basically the same. I'm just gonna delete this. And I'm going to in a for loop. Instances.length. I'm gonna print distances I 0, 0, 0. Okay, yeah, I mean it initializes as 0, so it has a value. It's not like it's null. And it properly initializes too. I mean, this isn't the problem. We dequeue, we enqueue. I need to have some kind of check before I enqueue stuff. Probably because that's the only part where it would cause an infinite while loop. Because it's probably okay, I see. We check if it's not in the list, and then we add all of the neighbors because they're not on the list. And then we move on, and one of those neighbors get dequeued. And then we move on, and then in the next check we check again and see, oh, it's not in the list. That means we add it back into the list, and the loop keeps going on for forever. Okay, so we need to add a second check. I feel like I should set the costs to the max value. I wish C# had like an initialization, like population method built in array. C# array populate. Array.fill, if that's something. There's a function called array.fill. Okay. Where is it? Array.fill. That's a Godot thing. Array. Yeah. System dot. Where is it? System dot collections dot array list of fill. Nope. How about just distances dot fill? Oh my god. Okay, I guess I'll just use a for loop. For int I 0. Or we can just use for each. Int I in distances. And then Or no, I would have to use a for loop here. For int I equals 0, I small. This distance is length I plus plus, and then distance is I equals int dot max value. Okay. And then here, instead of checking if we already have it in there, we can check if distances neighbor index. I'm doing the algorithm, but it keeps crashing, so I'm trying to fix it. Distances neighbor index. Oh, I'm getting a call. Give me 1 second. I'm back. My brother called me. He got a new number. I think I got it working. The algorithms for the pathfinding for the units. So what I'm doing now is hold on. I want to show it visually. I don't know why Steam takes like forever to open every single time for me. I don't know why my audio is low. I used to have I used to like lower the gain. Now it's like not low at all. But I just added some more gain to it. I hope that fixes it. Or maybe I was talking away from the microphone. I don't know what it was. Anyways, here's my design. Okay. So instead of like, let's say we have a units here, 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 and then we have bad guys over here. Instead of every single unit deciding who to attack and then making or finding a path, like calculating a path to that unit. Like, so if this unit wants to attack this character, it would have to go and calculate and do a ton of math and then find this path to it. And then this guy would decide, hey, I'm going to attack this. And then it would find this path. This guy would find that path. This guy would find this path. And then the bad guys will also have to find paths to their enemies. And that means, let me control Z. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 different there's 14 different units and 14 different pathfinding happening at the same time. Instead of that, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to calculate only one pathfinding algorithm or one pathfinding data set per target. So if this guy, and this guy all want to attack this one red unit here, that's going to be only one pathfinding algorithm running. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. And I think it's working. I think I got it working. Okay, what? It's not working. Oh wait, neighbor index +1. Yeah, it makes sense that it doesn't work. Instead of max value, then we can set them to 1. And then I would have to set open indices dot, not open indices, distances, full index equals 0. Put that up there. I'll keep it there. One. It still doesn't work. Current index +1. Okay, bye. I'll be streaming until like 2 p.m. So I'm guessing something's wrong with this if statement now. If the neighbor distance greater. How do I check? Is it supposed to be like this? No. It doesn't add them to the queue for them to be processed. I feel like my method was good. Open indices dot contain. Dot contains. It doesn't contain neighbor index, then do it. Okay. But we go and dequeue it later on. It's gonna crash again, probably. Yeah. cost gets set to 0. I don't think I even create a cost layer. Or I don't populate it at least. Cost layer. Let me just ask. Cost layer equals cost layer division. Yeah, it just sets them all to 0. That doesn't really mean anything. If they're all gonna be 0, like I don't even use it. Let's have something else to work on. Because now I'm stuck and I wish I had like something else right now to work on so I could push this for a later time and figure it out later. What can I do? I can just work on the flow field goal, which I'm thinking it's gonna hold an index. And this is going to attach to the units, and the units are going to call a function that's going to update the index, and that's going to be it. So that would be a uint index coordinate index, and that's it. Can make that private. And we can make a public void maybe a public bool, so that like if they're out of bounds, then we can return false or whatever. Like we can just go with the simple way and then just assume they're always going to be inbound. So public void set or yeah, I guess set index would be a good name. Set index uint new index, which then sets if instead of doing it here, what if flow field or flow field goal accesses the flow field and sets its index directly in the flow field class? Okay, private. Private flow field goals. Oops. It's gonna keep changing, so it can be an array. What happened? Array? No, doesn't like that. Array. Here we go. Godot collections.array. Okay. I don't know why I'm using array, actually. I can just use like a list. Right? Strongly typed list. Objects that can be accessed by index provides methods to search, sort, and manipulate lists. Maybe accessed by index, that means it's... Hold on, what's a list in C#? What? Am I crazy? What's the other one? There's a list and there's C# list versus... No, it's just a list. List versus array. List is probably dynamic, arrays not. I'm guessing that's the only difference then. Whatever, I'll just use a list. List flow field goals goal. And then every time this gets initialized, we want to register ourselves or the goal into this list. So public void register add goal to flow field or just add goal. Now we can do flow field goal, new goal, goals dot add or triad. No, add. No, just at the end of the list. I want it to be unique though. Okay, I guess we can just check goals contains new goal. If it contains, return. If not, then add the new goal. Okay. And then I'm thinking we can have like a game manager class that has access to flow fields and it spawns in the goals or the units. And then that's where we can add goal to the flow field. Yeah. I was thinking about doing a get set like this, but I think we're not going to use it really. So I'm just going to do two functions. First one is set index. Index equals new index. And then public, what is it? uint get index return index. And here we should probably do a check so it's not set in a weird way. But that means the flow field gold knows like the dimensions of the board. And like the movement component would be calling this function. So, and I don't want them to know the board size and everything. I want all that information to be here and only here. I'm also wanting to experiment with like having multiple goals per flow field. So because right now it's only just one goal, which makes sense for the algorithm, but I'm thinking maybe somehow I can have multiple goals at once, and then whichever one you're closer to, that's, or the unit is closer to, that's the one it tries to go to. I think that'd be pretty cool. And it'll probably reduce the amount of calculations going on by a little bit. But anyways, I'm kind of stuck right now, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna take a break and then try to work on it some more. I started playing Spectre Divide. I really like it, so I'll probably play that a little bit. But yeah, see you guys.